5 feet.
I didn't hear. Did you say feet?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, Isaac. Hi, everybody.
What are you watching?
In session. Thanks. Cool. Anything you wanted to say?
No, thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Matties. Hi.
Hi, Isaac. I hope my connection is good enough.
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay, cool. There's quite a lot of stuff going on in this body.
Yeah. In one sense, it really doesn't matter.
But then again,
You know, it's like in analogy, if you have a room, doesn't matter if it's filled with toilet paper or if it's filled with beautiful furniture or antiques, the room is untouched by what's inside of it. So there's all kinds of movements and whatever's going on. If you just recognize that it's just stuff appearing in awareness, the difficulty arises when there's a, like somehow taking it personally or think it means something about the awareness.
Yeah, I can see the moment something pulls in, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just, look, at the moment, I don't know how you see what's going on globally in the world at the moment, but man, there's a lot happening that's not so human friendly. And people are freaking out, it's just like, and if you're sensitive, you would be feeling all kinds of movements, all kinds of stuff. And the tendency to take it personal is huge because it's uncomfortable. But I'm sure many people in the Sangha are experiencing different movements and discomforts and just tuning into the collective. At least that's the way it seems to me. But I'm not sure how it seems to anyone else. But
well, to me at the moment it seems like there's been a movie playing in me for quite a long time, and recently more strongly, but I can more and more or more often I can see it. I can see that I'm seeing it and I'm not in it.
Yeah. I mean, really and truly, it's a trip because it is such a big tendency to take it personally. When especially if it's going on for a while, then it seems like, wow, it's mine or means something about me. But
yeah.
when we rest in here like this, how is it? Does the identification get thinner, drop, or what happens?
It's not so easy to describe. Like something is there's a space, something is okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And there's still some of the attention is still on those movements, on those tensions and things in the body.
In a way, even that doesn't matter as long as a little bit more of your attention is including the space.
There's this habit to want to verify, is there really the space? And then the moment it's like,
Because the space is not an experience.
Yeah.
It's just like that simplicity of Ramana's invitation, you know. Whatever's appearing, if you ask to whom it's appearing, the answer must be to me, to I. Can't be anything else. Yeah?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. It just feels there's kind of a layer that, I don't know, there's still an identity layer that wants to somehow, yeah. That is
And
itself
that's
appearing.
noticed. And it's
Yeah.
noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So whatever that is, you know, whatever remnant is left of measuring ourselves by experience, just to keep noticing. So, wow. You know, like we would never measure our computer by what's on the screen, or our TV by what's on the screen. Yeah, we know it's where the TV or computer is tuned to. It's not, doesn't mean a thing about the computer. It's just where it's, and it's the same thing with our attention. It's what we tune to. We can tune to like the miracle of this moment, like billions of galaxies and all that stuff, you know. Or we can tune to some sensations and interpretation of them. Think we know that it means something. It's just, it's. Just curious, like that habit to focus on sensation or the content of awareness. Just spending a few moments and tracking, where was that? Was that in your culture, in your family? Where was that habit encouraged or conditioned?
I mean, I can see in my family and in the culture this habit of, you know, wanting to feel good, and avoiding to feel bad, and then having strategies to do things that make one feel good. And for me, it like maybe a few years ago, it started that it was just a impulse to kind of look within and sense what's in the body. And it feels like somehow it became maybe too much of a habit to actually stay with sensation.
Yeah. It's just interesting to just track that and see what was the promise of that. What does it actually deliver? Just so you're looking fresh at a habit, you could say. Somewhere it's become a habit. The promise of focusing on sensations in a certain way. You know, it's not just noticing, gently noticing, okay, yes, sensations appearing. But, you know, usually the sensations are interpreted very quickly. Those are good sensations, those aren't. This is, you know, some way that it's going to get us somewhere. It's going to bring something fine.
Yeah, there is the idea that tantric approach, the idea of like allowing a sensation to fully come, to fully play itself out, and to kind of let it come close. And there has been experiences where that kind of released something. So there's a promise that, or that idea that yeah, it's to get somewhere. It's to get like to a place where those sensations are not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so what's the fine print of that invitation? What's the price? What happens?
Well, yeah, often it happens that the sensations become much more prominent.
Yeah. And what else happens?
Well, I guess as long as there's any kind of resistance, and they just stay.
Yeah. What sense of identity, what sense of self happens? What, you know, what are the side effects of?
Yeah, it's identity that needs to like needing to get somewhere, needing to first solve something.
Yeah. Just noticing, no right or wrong. Somewhere that idea crept in. It's been explored, and just looking fresh and going, wow, okay. Maybe there was a misunderstanding involved. Maybe it's a good idea to continue.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last.
Or maybe it's a good idea to continue till you die, with focusing on sensations and trying to make them different.
Yeah, not so cool, maybe.
Thanks, Matisse.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you so much.
Really?
Hi.
Hi, Lily.
I've got something to bring. I picked up some stuff from the old job, and I noticed that there's some debris of stress that the body's accumulated while I was there, or whatever it is. It just makes me feel vulnerable, and this system, it is, but it's interpreting that, something like that. And at the same time, I found out that both my sisters went into business with the person that's been running the meditation, and I feel vulnerable from there as well because of the closeness. And it's probably nothing.
Yeah, you know, it's just.
But that is why they haven't been in touch with me for the last 2 years, and we live 20 minutes away from each other, you know. So that's why that hurts a bit.
You know, the hurting a bit is an idea. I mean, it's, you know, there's obviously some thought that it should be different or something, you know.
There's an expectation of closeness that is no longer real.
Yeah, and you know, again, the closenesses, you think about them, so they're in your mind.
What I don't know why I don't get that, sorry.
Okay, so you know, look, when there's an upset with someone,
It feels like they
then
betrayed me in a way.
so yeah, so yeah, so then they're in your mind, yeah.
Yes, okay, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I mean, means that you're something's busy with them.
Yeah.
In a way that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And that somehow either blames them or blames yourself, or you know, like yeah. So it gets entangled. It's like, you know, it's and in that focus, in that perspective, there's a feeling everything's not okay. They doing something wrong, or there's something wrong with you, or and so, you know, that filters. It's like, you know, looking through that filter, so to speak.
Yes, yeah.
And nothing right about it, nothing wrong about it. It's just that
it's creating turbulence in my life, basically. Yeah.
For sure. Whenever, I mean, and it functions the same for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, anytime there's an upset and something wants to put it on someone else or ourselves, there's a way that the upset locks in. And, you know, then somehow we blame the circumstance, or we blame ourselves, or we blame them. But the upset kind of, the system is not at peace.
No. Yeah.
And so that's a high price. It's a really high price for that particular focus. But what's great about it is we have something to think about and you know, not feel happy about and work on and all that. So
I so love the explanation you had with Mathis about the room and so on. And it's still the heart has got something in there. And maybe if I just sit with you and not think anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the difficulty is like, we notice the discomfort,
Yes.
and almost always our thinking tries to help us. And then we become convinced of that perspective, you know, like, okay, they really, you know, it really should be different. They should be different. I should be different. It should be different. And I'm not going to be at peace until it is.
And that's going to happen exactly that way.
Yeah.
It was just something came through, like, why don't I look at these events as events happening on the screen? Like, why doesn't the system?
I don't know if that's a useful question, Arthur, because, you know, for sure we've been conditioned, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the why, you know, it's like,
how about
like
instead of the why?
I would say it's it's an unexamined habit, you know. I would say it like that. It's a habit that we've, you know, been conditioned to from very, very young. Who knows how young? Even, you know, it's a lot of it's passed on. And so we find ourselves looking through a habit without ever looking at it. All we know is that we feel hurt and that something's not right and we want it to be right. And so, okay, I'll suffer until it is right. You know?
Yeah.
If I have to suffer forever, that's okay. But finally, my suffering will maybe make a difference. And
Oh.
And it functions the same for every single one of us. It's no different in me as it is in you. If that movement happens, it's the same, the same suffering arises. It's just.
And I guess that giving it space and observing it.
Just noticing, okay, there's a habit, there's a habit that's not questioned. It's like, I'm hurt, and I have a right to be hurt, and you know, it really doesn't get questioned. It's just, but then the moment you start looking at it, you go, wait a second.
Yeah.
It's a dream. It's a nightmare, basically. It's just a nightmare arising from an old habit. Feeling hurt, feeling abandoned, betrayed, whatever, you know, it's just like.
Yeah. Okay, right.
And meanwhile, you know, who's betraying us? It's like, I guess, our thought or our habit of attention.
It is.
Then it feels like there's a me that could be betrayed, but ultimately our nature is love or space or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Not that we, you know, this idea of being a person that's a victim of life, of family, of how life lives itself. It's, you know, it seems like a very common human perspective. The good thing about it is it's suffering, but like it's at some point it prompts us to look a little deeper. That's what it's good for.
I love this nothingness. Thank you so much.
Sure. When you're back in gallery view, you can just check. I mean, how many people know that space of there being an upset and somehow outsourcing it or blaming or somehow. I mean, it's such a common human story, you know. So it's beautiful that you can speak it and we can look together. Yeah. I don't know how the mind can recognize, yes, I know that. But somehow in this particular case, it doesn't apply. So sneaky, sweet little thinking mechanism. Right.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Rachel.
Wow, you just said something what I needed to hear. Now the mind is active again. A woman made me a soul shard, so the story of my life. And it was beautiful, and I could work on something. So now I got it, 31 pages yesterday. And I spoke already with Mike in the retreat about this, and she said, okay, but first, look who you really are. So, the life story. And now she said to heal, it's about blockages, and in my case, my money blockage, always tied with money, and you know this. And now she said, yeah, you're healing easy. You talk to your mother, it's especially my mother's ancestors line, and forgive. And I feel such a resistance inside me. They give me all their shit and I have to forgive now. Oh. And when I listen to you now with Lily, I mean, it's a nightmare. It's a dream.
It's a
So,
dream.
do I have to work on this? I just step out of the
So-
dream and
So let's start with the basic question. Who's the I that's going to do that?
yeah.
Who's the I that's going to do that?
Yeah.
All you're talking about, really, if you look at it, is an idea that's going to orientates the attention. And in that orientation, the sense of I appears, and a whole nightmare appears.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. So no fucking forgiveness of what? I mean,
It's like, you know, it's I love, you know, it sounds silly, but it's like Ramla asked the question: when your teeth bite your tongue,
say again,
when your teeth
Yeah,
bite
yeah.
your tongue,
Yeah.
does that ever happen for you? Have
Yeah,
you ever? Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So then, who has to forgive who? The teeth or the tongue or
Yeah.
you or?
Yeah. But on the other side, we speak about this bringing things to peace, patterns or what. So, I mean, we play in this nightmare. Or not who plays? I don't know. You know what I. what my question.
So let's look. Let's explore that. Okay. So
Mhm.
we're here, and we notice there's a habit going on, a habit of attention, a habit of interpretation that's going on automatically, unconsciously.
Mhm.
Nobody's doing it. It's just happening. But in it happening, a sense of me and you arise, a sense of suffering arises, and it feels and seems very real. And then a moment happens where You go, wait a second. None of that's real. None of it. But only none of it.
Mm.
But then it's not even a question of bringing something to peace. It's just seeing it's never been anything but peace.
It
It's all
never
appearing in.
anything what? Out of peace or what?
There's never been anything. There's only peace. There's only this
Yeah, yeah.
that you've always been.
I make a little bit louder. Just a minute.
Yeah. There's no one to do anything. There's nothing to be done.
How can we forget about this again?
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, and this thing of, oh, there's my money karma or my whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, what does any of that have to do with who you are? If it's believed that it has something to do with who you are, for sure, then you have no money and you have no peace.
Ah, this is a good one. Cool, to the point. Yeah.
Your belly is full, you have a dry place to sleep. You don't have to work 3 jobs just to exist. You're probably better off than 60–70% of people in the world.
Yes.
You've got a good collection of music, you have your time.
Yeah, I'm so lucky, I know. I know. And maybe, maybe there's still some cancer left around the mouth. This also came again. And but I'm in peace with this. I don't go there anymore. Phew. Because no control, nothing. I mean, the bodies. So, wow. I just reckoned this today. Wow. Cool. Yeah.
There was one story Papaji told about this very wealthy man who came to see him once. And this man had heard that Papaji could show people who they were. So Papaji said, how much are you willing to give me to show you? And the man did a quick calculation, and there was millions. But it was, you know, about a third of what he had. And Papaji said, get out. Unless you're willing to give everything, this isn't for you. And it wasn't about the money. It was, you know, it's this funny bargaining, with trying to bargain with this beauty, you know. Yeah, I like you, but only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you know, only a little bit of the time. The rest of my time I want to keep playing with all the things that trouble me, and I want to be at peace.
Oh, yeah, lovely story.
Thanks for Matisse.
Hey, I just wanted to check because regarding the topic we're talking, because you once mentioned that when there was difficulties with you and Mike, that you had to really look into that. So I wonder when you say, like, on one side, this is just all appearance, but then there seem to be times where we really need to look at something, right?
You know, there was a dynamic playing, and attention was caught in that dynamic. And so somehow trying to hold on to something, hold on to an idea, basically. And, you know, really wanting to hold on. Like, I want peace on my terms. So to me, it was like this, there was an idea of relationship, there was an idea of, and at some point I could see that staying with any of those ideas had nothing to do with Micah, it had nothing to do with me, they were just ideas. And it's like, you know, somehow trying to hold on to this idea of relationship, even if it costs peace. Let me see, relationship, peace. Can't have them both? No, sorry, doesn't work like that. But I want it like that, sorry, doesn't work like that.
Okay, so the looking is really just to see these ideas and concepts that we're holding on to.
Yeah. You know, I'll be happy if I've got a partner. I'll be happy if I've got this. I'll be happy if, you know, I have a lover. And I won't be if I don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this, I forget how you put it, a Gordian knot or something, and the only way to out of it is to cut it. Just absolutely to cut it. It's just like that. It's, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a stopping, yeah, just stopping
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
feed.
Feed it, yeah.
Yeah. But then first I need to see how, I need to see it clearly, seems to be. Otherwise,
In
this
a
is
way,
like,
it's just seeing, yeah, it's just recognizing that, I mean, what we spoke earlier, just this habit of being focused on the content of awareness and the interpretation of it. It's a habit. You know, it's just somewhere along the line, it seemed like a good idea. Maybe, you know, so then that habit, you know, like crept in, and this idea of getting somewhere, and this idea of the search and needing to see something, whatever it is, you know, like rather than simplicity of just rest. Okay.
I can see how it creeps in again and like another way.
Yeah, yeah. It's you know.
Yeah.
Like perfect pieces here now, without, if we don't touch a single thought, it's just as simple as that. But it's like thoughts are tricky. Yeah. Whoops. Okay, you're back.
Yeah, sorry, connection dropped. You with someone else now?
No, just
So I can see this idea is kind of still there. I mean,
So what does it take in this moment to say thank you, idea, I'm not interested. Absolutely not. There's nothing that you have that I want. I'm here and I'm not moving. What does it take? Just for an instant, one instant, just to come to that place. That's it. Right here, right now. Done. And see what happened in that instant. How many generations have run after that idea? Finally, just to stop.
It seems to take to just, to just be okay with what is, to completely be okay with what is.
And then, even deeper, what actually is. Our interpretation, is that what is? Or, that's the habit of interpreting everything and having it have meaning and all that stuff. Is that what is? Sure, that goes on. What actually is? Deeper than that habit, deeper than that constant interpreting, resisting, all that stuff. That can all be there, but it's certainly not what is.
Yeah, what is, I can't really say.
Yeah, can't say.
Thank you, Isaac. Thanks again.
Thank you. Kan. Judith and then what?
You have my picture already?
I have your picture and
Oh, good.
you don't have mine, baby. You have mine.
Yeah, I have you. There's a little excitement in the body.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you, Isaac.
Martin.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Martin.
I would like to talk about one problem. So when I'm here talking with you, or resting with you, or being with Sangha, it helps me a lot to come in this room of presence of my true self and be glad with that. And when I'm alone, I can cultivate it a lot. So I try to be alone a lot. But when I go out, I have to do with a lot of systems that are not like the Sangha. They are like in total personal identification. And when I, like yesterday, have something, my bank card, I tried to help my girlfriend. She didn't have money. My bank card didn't function. It was no problem. I went to the bank, got the money. But this guy was really, really mad. He just, what a loser. What is this for a loser? And he didn't stop, you know. And he activated something in me, you know, feeling really small and, you know, allowed my life, and it activated the pain body. And it was really difficult for me not to take it personally. And so I was wondering, should I try not to be so much with the systems that are totally identified, that are not activated that much? Or how is it possible for me to hold this experience of my system in this presence, to hold it?
Yeah. It's a beautiful question, Martin. There isn't an answer. There's no strategy. There's a love affair. And so, life being what it is, it's like, you know, wherever there's automatic unconscious resistance, life will reflect it. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing right with that. It's just how consciousness functions. It's not personal to you. It's not personal to anybody. Like we carry the information for generations back. And so wherever there's automatic unconscious resistances still in the system, unseen, unnoticed, or maybe noticed, that causing movements, and it'll show up and it'll keep showing up. And so once we know that, it's just an opportunity, just opportunities. You know what you love. You know who you are. Doesn't matter if it shows up as discomfort. Something in you is interested in not going down that road anymore.
Yeah. But this is what hurts so much, you know, because as better you know this love affair, or have this love affair, you have the feeling you fall really in hell. Yeah, it's really like, when it comes, and it's okay, like falling out and losing it then.
Yeah, but it's not losing it, because the interest, the love affair remains. It's just don't take it personally, that so-called falling out. All that's happening is the attention got caught in a loop.
Yeah.
For some moments or however long. And then the interest comes and it goes, okay, something went with the story now for a moment. Clearly, if it was up to me, it wouldn't. And then, when you just rest, you recognize, okay, that movement happened. Who knows where it came from? But there's just a seeing, okay, wow, that's hell. Truly, that's hell.
Yeah.
And then, sometimes it can be useful just to okay, so what is the mechanism there? What got touched in me? It's like something got touched. Some wanting to be treated nicely, wanting to be seen, something, wanting to be liked, wanting like to be smooth, who knows? It doesn't much matter. But ultimately, it's just recognizing attention got caught in a habit that bears no fruit. The only fruit it bears is bitter, and then just rest. Doesn't, like when those chemicals get released in the nervous system, it takes some minutes for them to calm down.
Or maybe hours.
And so it can be hours. Can be
For me, it was
whatever,
like hours. I had the feeling I drowned in all this negative feelings and hate and anger and whatever. And then after a while, I had this.
Yeah. Then it mellows out again, and you go, okay, great.
And then I could get some distance, and
Yeah.
It's quite hard when you feel this discrepancy between these two moods. The one is not a mood. The one is the real self, and the other is a.
Yeah. Is the human, the movements that make us seem human. Play of humanness. People would speak to Nisargadatta, and he would say, yeah, you think you're a human. I know that I'm that in which humanness appears. Yeah. Not human at all. This humanness appears in me.
And the system I am has so many things in it, so many conditioning.
Of course.
So many things I would do different or want different, but they are like that. So.
It's like I've told the story before, but the story from Ramana's life. He was sitting in a room with some people that had this interest, and some thieves started throwing stones on the roof. Ramana sent someone to speak. What do you want? They said, we want to come in and rob this place. He said, you don't have to rob, you're welcome to take whatever you want. And they said, no, we don't feel comfortable with you in there to do that. You have to come out. So he said, okay. And so he walked out the room with all the people that were with him. And one of the thieves struck Ramana. And the people that were with Ramana wanted to immediately fight with that person. And Ramana said, look, they have their destiny. You have what you're in love with. Don't get involved. leave it. So it's like that.
Mm.
Very practical, simple. Somewhere thieves have to come up and show and play that movie out.
So go out and take everything as practice.
Yeah, just you know what the love affair is. It's, you know what your journey is. This lifetime is for. That's it. Finished.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. But get to be very close to finishing. It's quick. Hello.
You still have time?
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
Okay. Good to be with you again and the Sangha. I would like to sit with you and bring in that the body is at a point where efforting or using willpower to improve is a no-go territory. And there's too much how do you say, physical pains and difficulties coming up because I want to improve and get better, more vitality, blah, blah, blah. So now it's I set my goal in resting the nervous system and getting better sleep, and all the rest comes after that. But that means surfacing of a lot of material because I'm doing less. So I would like to sit with you because the surfacing can be quite challenging. Hmm. It's one big love affair.
You know, when this body started out of the blue blacking out, and you know, like all of a sudden I couldn't drive myself anywhere. I couldn't swim by myself. I couldn't get on a ladder. And, you know, and life was continuing. I had things that I wanted to do, but I needed Micah to drive me, and I knew that putting any pressure on her or anything would be hell for both of us, and something just had to relax with it and go, okay, it is like that, and it's like that now. Who knows how long this phase lasts, whether that's the rest of my life. I can
Yeah. You're still not
And
You're still not driving yourself.
No, I am. But I haven't blacked out for quite a number of months, and I've been given the all clear to drive again. Now I'm
Yeah.
on ladders, and I'm working and playing into all that stuff. And
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, it was just like it was. You can see it's just something goes into resistance or it doesn't, and
Yeah.
yeah.
No, now I'm trying not to. Most of the time, I'm good with it, but it's
Fantastic,
a
yeah.
process. It's
Yeah.
quite a process. Yeah, having gone through all of it last year, I thought I would be, say, further along.
In the end, we have to give up everything. You can't take anything with you.
No,
So yeah,
no,
good
Thank you.
training. Yeah.
it is. Thank you very much. Big hug for
Uh,
you.
Hugs and love to you too. Bas G, thank you for hosting. Thank you, everybody. Privilege to meet and rest together. So,